Hello, everybody, and I would like to thank my wonderful subscribers.
Hello everybody, and today we are going to be watching Mr. Nightmare, Glee Deserving to Halloween Scary Stories. So yeah, this will be another Mr. Nightmare video, and he's pumping out a lot of videos over the past couple days. And at first, I thought that they were like remakes of old videos, but I'm not really recognizing any of the recent stories, especially the last one. So, I don't know. But let's just check this one out and see what it is. It's some horror. Oh, that's an ad. I thought we were doing a baseball episode for a second. Got the spooky light on. Halloween horror stories. Here we go. Ooh, that rain. Channel member.
This happened 2 years ago on Halloween of 2023.
Yeah?
I'm a 25-year-old male, but at the time of this story, I was 22.
Okay.
I had a long day of work due to a festival we had where we had parents bring their kids to the center for various activities, such as many different competitive games, a costume contest, trivia for candy, and a kids vs. parents dodgeball game.
What kind of trivia?
Overall, it was a very fun time, but it was definitely tiring.
Yeah.
For context, I'm a community worker,
so
doing community events is pretty much what I do on a normal basis.
Oh.
But it's also draining, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like
anyway, after it was all done, I went home and was ready to call it a night.
Yeah.
About an hour after I got home, it was around 6-something, my little sister called me.
Aww.
My sister, who I'll call Savannah, wanted me to take her and my nephew, who I'll call Jackson, trick-or-treating.
How old are
because
they?
neither our parents nor Jackson's parents felt like doing it. And as it usually goes, it fell on me to be the cool big brother to step in and make it happen. Savannah was 15 and Jackson was 11. Even though I wasn't feeling it at all, I got up, threw some clothes on, and headed to my parents' house to pick them up.
Yeah, they did be a brother.
Once I got there, I asked if they were ready, but Savannah was still finalizing her costume.
Ooh, what was
She was dressed up as Raven from Teen Titans.
Okay.
She even had the white makeup on to give that ghostly appearance Raven usually has.
Okay, what was the
Jackson
other
was
kid?
dressed as Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Once Savannah was done, we got in the car and were on our way. I took them to a pretty busy neighborhood to make sure they got as much candy as possible. Upon arrival, we started going from house to house. Everyone we ran into was friendly and had plenty of treats to hand out.
Yeah?
There was even one house where an older man gave them each a hot dog and a soda.
What?
He said every year for Halloween, he doesn't hand out candy.
Okay.
He grills food instead because he'd rather give kids something with protein since it's good for the body. Honestly, we probably need more people like that. We passed a lot of other kids, and some gave compliments to Savannah and Jackson's costumes. I also saw some really cool costumes myself.
Yeah,
Everyone in the area seemed to go all out.
Yeah.
When we hit the last house for the night, we started walking back to the car. It was about a 10-minute walk since we had gone pretty far down the neighborhood.
Ooh.
The neighborhood was less active now, and there weren't as many people out and about.
My parents usually don't do
That's why I got alarmed when I looked across the street and saw a person dressed in all black standing in a yard where there were no porch lights on. I'm surprised I even noticed them at all, but I tend to always pay attention to my surroundings. When I looked closer, it seemed like the person was wearing a hooded cloak with an all-black outfit and a mask, because I couldn't see their face at all.
That's creepy.
I honestly couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. Whoever it was, they appeared to be looking at us. I told Savannah and Jackson to stay close to me and said, "There's a suspicious person across the yard. Look, but don't stare." I said that so they could see who I was talking about.
You don't have to tell them
the person to approach or follow us. Jackson laughed and thought it was just someone trying to scare people walking by.
Maybe.
Savannah, though, looked noticeably worried.
Yeah, I bet.
Now, just to add some context, I was carrying a backpack with a Glock inside. Savannah knew this, so when I told them to stay close, she probably realized I was being serious.
Yeah.
Jackson was clueless. He's too young for me to tell him that I carry a real gun.
Yeah.
As we were walking away,
it
looked like that person was still watching us, even though it was hard to tell in the dark. We were getting closer to the car when I suddenly heard heavy footsteps behind us.
You run.
Like boots hitting the concrete. I turned around and saw that same person again. Same outfit, all black. But this time, I could see more clearly.
Oh.
They were wearing a tactical vest, tactical
Oh,
boots, and black pants tucked into the boots.
Oh, is it
They had on a
bulletproof?
full spandex mask that completely covered their face. That made the situation way more
Oh,
serious.
but yeah.
When you see someone dressed like that, the first thing that comes to mind is that they're armed.
Duh,
He's
yeah.
following us, I thought. I whispered to
He's not
Savannah and
following you,
Jackson,
he's
I need you
chasing
both to
you.
listen very carefully. Do not stop walking and do not look back. The person I mentioned earlier is following us.
Yeah.
They're behind us right now. The last thing we want is to alarm them or set them off. So
Yeah.
just keep your composure and keep walking.
Jackson better
I
not
mainly
mess
looked at
up.
Jackson when saying this because he's younger
Yeah.
and might not fully understand how serious this was. Savannah understood completely.
Yeah,
We
15.
kept walking
Old
and did
enough.
occasional glances behind us. The person stayed the same distance away, but was still following. When we
Okay.
got to the car, they were still coming our way. That's
Oh,
when I
no.
decided to make a bold move.
Run?
I pulled out my Glock
Oh.
and pointed it at the person.
Damn.
I asked why they're following us.
Yeah, I've been kind of wondering where the gun was. Is it in the side pocket? Like, is it in the side pocket, like where you put a water bottle? Is it like at the top of the bag? Because like, if it were in my backpack, it would have to be on the side pocket, or it would have to be at the very top of the bag. But you pulled it out pretty easily. So,
The person raised their hands,
Oh,
as
wow.
if they didn't expect me to do that,
Well,
and
duh.
slowly removed their mask.
who?
It was a woman,
Oh.
and she looked to be in her 30s.
Why was
She
she
took her
doing
mask
that?
off, but didn't answer my question.
Okay.
She just stared at me blankly.
Explain.
I asked again, still pointing the gun. Why are you following
Yeah.
us? What she said next made no sense. In
What?
an almost robotic tone, she said, I'm an undercover cop. I was told there was a break-in, so I came to check it out. That's
Oh.
why I was standing outside that house.
Really?
But when you looked at me funny, I assumed you were the one who did it. So
Really?
it would be wise to lower that weapon, or I could have you arrested for threatening an officer of the law. I hesitated.
Wow. What a great story she just came up with on the spot. Like, really? Really, you want to tell me that you're a top when you're not wearing anything top right? You're not wearing a badge, you're not wearing a top outfit, which you could get and probably put over your costume. Also, you're wearing a mask. You would think that if you were an undercover top, you would be wearing a Halloween costume. Right, I don't know, I guess this is your Halloween costume. But man, no. Nobody is buying that, lady. Nobody.
But then lowered my gun.
What?
What else was I supposed to do? I didn't want to risk an arrest or ruin the kid's night.
What?
But her story didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
She claimed she got word of a break-in, so why would she just stand outside facing away from the house?
Yeah.
How did me looking at her funny make her think I was the one who did it?
Then why did
Why
you
would I
lower
break
your
into a
gun?
house and then casually walk through the neighborhood? And why was she wearing a hooded cloak?
Yeah.
All these questions were racing through my mind. So I asked her, if you're undercover, why are you in tactical gear? Wouldn't that kind of give away that you're law enforcement? And what's the point of the cloak? She didn't answer.
Yeah. She didn't
just
have
stared
an
at me again.
answer.
But this time her expression changed.
Was happy?
There was something malicious
Oh.
in her eyes, like she was irritated that I didn't believe her and was deciding what to do next.
Oh, you better
Jackson
hope
and
she didn't
Savannah
have a
stayed
weapon.
completely quiet through all of this. Then she smiled this creepy,
Oh.
unsettling smile and said, if you didn't have that gun, this night would have ended a hell of a lot different for you.
Oh.
Right as she finished saying that,
She
I noticed
ran?
4 figures suddenly emerge from between the houses
Oh,
walking toward us. All of them were wearing tactical gear,
Oh.
but without the cloak. I instantly told Savannah and Jackson to get in the car,
Yeah.
keeping my eyes on the woman and the figures. Once I saw they were
Damn.
in, I got into and drove off. As I
Wow.
was leaving, the woman was still standing there smiling. The others, 3 men and 1 woman,
Oh.
were not smiling. They had blank, emotionless faces, like they didn't even have souls. It's hard to
Okay.
explain.
That's a bit much.
The whole car ride back was silent.
I'm
sure the
sad.
kids were in shock, just like I was.
Yeah.
I dropped them off, made sure they got in safely, then went home to process everything that happened.
Oh.
The thing I couldn't shake off was
What?
why they targeted us.
What?
The neighborhood was full of people walking
I mean, to be fair, like, it probably was random. Like, 2 kids, 1 adult. I mean, it's better than having, like, 2 kids, 2 adults. They probably thought you were easy targets because you didn't openly show you had it done. To be honest, like, you need to have a little, one of those, what do you call those, like, holsters. Because the holster makes it obvious you have a weapon. That's not always what you want to do, but sometimes it is. Yeah, I guess they do it to show have a weapon or pretend to have a weapon.
Around. So why us? I wish I could say it ended there, but it
What?
didn't.
It
A few
didn't?
days later, I got a text from an unknown number.
Oh,
It was just a photo.
of your
No
house?
words. The picture was of my car taken in the
Oh.
parking lot of my apartment complex.
Oh,
I contacted the police and told them everything that happened on Halloween night.
okay.
They took the report.
What did
they
they
couldn't
do?
investigate unless a direct threat was made. Typical.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity and maybe stupidity,
What?
I went back to that same house where I
What?
first saw that woman. I knocked on the door, and a man in his 40s answered. I
Why?
asked if they'd experienced a break-in on Halloween night.
No.
He looked confused and said no. He said he went to bed early because he had work the next morning and
Yeah.
didn't notice anything strange. I told him what I saw, and he had no idea what I was talking about.
Well, yeah, obviously,
I
that's a
thanked him for his
lie.
time and left.
Made up a
At that
cat.
point, I already knew the undercover cop story was fake, but I wanted to do my own little investigation
Oh,
just to
duh.
make sense of it.
Duh.
Whoever that woman and those people were somehow knew my phone number and where I lived.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, was that not a random encounter after all? Were they watching me for a while? Were they planning something that night? And my being armed threw them off? All those thoughts
Maybe.
messed me up and made me feel paranoid for a long time. I had to go to therapy and install a Ring camera at my front door just to feel safe
Yeah. I
again.
would
In case
have
you're
to.
wondering, I haven't been contacted by any unknown numbers
Yeah.
since.
Okay.
Nothing else has happened since that picture. 2 years later, I still think back on that night. Writing this out helps me a lot, and I'm trying to fully move on from it. But if there's one thing I want people to take away from this,
Don't
it's to
trust
always
cops.
watch your surroundings.
That
You never
too.
know who might be watching you. It's easy to get caught up in something dangerous just for existing, so always stay safe and protected, because I can say with full confidence that being armed that night probably saved our lives.
But yeah, no, like, I wouldn't even have believed her top story in the first place. Like, it's like, so many things were wrong with that story. And you pointed out most of them instantly. And then, at the end of the night, at the end of the story, she said this night would have turned out a lot differently if you didn't have a gun. A police officer would probably have a gun if they're looking for a break-in. And she had 4 other cops with her, and none of them had any weapons? No, her top story, 100% fake, immediate notice. No, a cop would pull out her badge, and she would have a flashlight, and she would notice that you have 2 kids. No, that story, automatically not believing it. Dumb idea on her part. I would have given up as soon as she pulled out the gun.
This happened when I was 12 years old.
Okay, 12 years
It was
old.
Halloween day.
Halloween
My family
day.
was staying at a small family resort about an hour away from where we lived.
Oh.
My parents wanted to do something different that year instead of just walking around our neighborhood for trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
The resort was holding a Halloween celebration that weekend with a bunch of activities, games, and even a
Ooh.
haunted hayride. It wasn't a big place. It had maybe 10 cabins, a main lodge, a small lake, and a long open field where they set up hayrides and games.
Sounds
It was surrounded by
cool.
woods on all sides. During the day, it looked normal, even kind of peaceful. But once it
Okay.
got dark, the woods looked black and creepy,
Oh.
and the resort felt a little too quiet.
Yeah?
We checked in early that afternoon. I remember walking into the cabin and feeling excited because I could smell campfire smoke and
Oh yeah,
candy
you're
apples in the air.
11.
Kids were running around in costumes, even though it wasn't dark yet.
Yeah,
My
did you
parents
have
said
a
the hayride
costume?
was starting around 7, and there'd be games before that. So I went off to play while they unpacked.
Okay.
They had booths where you could toss rings over bottles for candy, a costume contest, and even a pumpkin carving area. Everything was decorated with orange lights and fake spider webs.
Good.
I met another kid around my age there. His name was Ryan.
Ryan.
He was wearing a skeleton costume and said he and his parents were staying in the next cabin over from ours. We played a few
How do you
games
know
together
that?
and got
If
a
you
good
actually
amount of
met
candy.
there.
As it got closer to 7, we saw a crowd of families walking over to the hayride area. The tractor pulling the wagon was parked near a big barn, and they had hay bales lined up inside for people to sit on.
That's cool.
There were maybe 20 of us who got on.
I've never actually
The
been
driver
to
wore
one
a
of
scarecrow
these.
mask, and there were workers dressed like zombies who would jump out during the ride to scare people. The ride started out fun. It was dark by then, and they had torches lighting the dirt trail.
Yeah, no, I don't trust
The
this
tractor moved
place.
slowly through the woods, and every now and then, someone in a costume would appear from behind a tree or run up to the wagon.
Oh, you got one
Most
of
people
those.
laughed or screamed and then
Yeah.
laughed again. It felt like a normal Halloween
Or
attraction.
yapped
And
then.
about halfway through, something made me uncomfortable.
What?
We were passing through a part of the trail that was darker than the rest.
Oh, yeah,
The
probably
tractor
like more
slowed down,
trees.
and I looked toward the edge of the woods on my side. That's when I saw a man standing just outside the torchlight. He
Oh!
wasn't part of the hayride cast. I could tell that right away. He wasn't wearing a costume that fit the theme. From what I remember, he had a black jacket,
Yeah.
jeans, and a baseball cap
Okay,
pulled
that
low
would
over
play
his face.
scary.
He was just standing there, not moving, with his hands in his pockets. At first, I thought maybe he was one of the workers taking a break.
Maybe.
But he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
He was only watching. At one point, I made
Maybe
eye
that's
contact
his
with
job.
him, or at least I think I did.
You couldn't see
Even though
his
his
eyes.
face was shadowed, I could feel his eyes locked on me.
Oh, that is the
I
worst
turned to look at the
feeling.
people around me to see if anyone else noticed, but no one seemed to. When I looked back, he was still there, in the exact same position.
Oh,
I
that's
tried to
worse.
ignore it for the rest of the ride, but I kept thinking about him. When the hayride ended and everyone got off, I looked back one more time toward the woods.
Oh my
He
god.
was gone.
Oh,
I didn't mention it to anyone right then. I
why?
figured maybe I imagined it or overreacted. We went back to the lodge where they had more games and food. My parents sat by a bonfire while Ryan and I went around collecting candy.
Oh, that's
Everything
nice.
seemed normal again.
Trick-or-treating.
About an hour later, I saw him again.
Oh, wait.
Ryan and I were standing near the snack table when I noticed someone off to the side of the crowd. It was the same man. He wasn't close, maybe 30 feet away, but he was standing near the tree line, watching again. There were a lot of people around, so it felt strange that he'd just be standing there alone. I remember my stomach tightening when I realized he was looking in my direction.
Oh,
I tried to get a better look at his face, but it was hard because of the lighting. I
yeah.
could make out a short beard, and I think his hat had some kind of logo on it. I nudged Ryan and told him about the guy. Ryan looked over and said, maybe he's one of the workers.
Maybe.
I said, he's not. He was in the woods during the hayride.
Yeah.
Ryan shrugged and said, maybe he's a dad.
Yeah.
I wanted to believe that,
That's a
but he wasn't talking
possibility.
to anyone, just standing there. A few minutes later, when I looked back again, he was
He was
gone.
done.
Around 9 o'clock, if I had to guess, most of the little kids had gone back to their cabins. The event was
Okay.
winding down, but Ryan and I still had energy. We decided to walk around the resort before going in. There was a trail behind the cabins that led into the woods.
Oh.
Ryan said we should go a little way in to do something scary for Halloween
No.
before the night ended.
What do
I
you
didn't
mean
want to go too
daily?
far, but we had flashlights, and I didn't want to look like a coward. So we walked down the dirt path together, laughing and daring each
No.
other to keep going. The
No.
farther we went, the quieter it got. The sounds from the resort faded until it was just the crunching of our shoes on the path. We only went maybe 200 feet
Yeah.
in when we stopped near a clearing.
Oh.
There was an old wooden sign nailed to a tree that
What did they
said
say?
private property.
Okay.
We started throwing small rocks at the sign and pretending to summon ghosts or something dumb like that.
Oh.
Then we both heard it. Footsteps.
Oh. Where?
Heavy, slow footsteps
Behind?
coming from behind us,
Oh.
somewhere deeper on the path. We froze and turned around. Ryan whispered, probably another kid.
Why?
It didn't sound like a kid.
Why would it be a
Whoever
kid?
it was walked with weight, like an adult. I shined my flashlight down
He
the
was
path.
heavy?
The light only went so far, and I couldn't see anyone yet. Then the footsteps stopped. For a few seconds, it was completely silent. Then a voice spoke. It said, "Hey there, boys." It
Oh!
was a man's voice.
Oh, you don't
Calm,
say
but
that to
somehow
us.
intimidating. Ryan looked at me, and I think he realized the same thing I did. It was the man from the hayride.
Yeah.
He stepped into the light just enough for us to see part of him.
Oh, no.
Same black jacket and
Oh,
hat.
Dad.
What are you two doing out here? He asked. You
Nothing.
like candy?
No.
Neither of us said anything. He pulled something out of his pocket and held
He's
it
gonna
up.
be a knife.
I could see the orange wrapper.
Oh.
It was a Reese's cup. I got a bunch more
Ooh.
of these in my cabin, he said.
No, you
Come on,
don't.
I'll give you some. Ryan took a step back. I remember
Yeah.
his face going pale.
Duh.
The man took a few steps closer.
You have
and
the
said,
numbers.
You don't have to be scared. It's Halloween. I'm just giving candy out. I saw you
I mean,
boys
yeah.
on the hayride earlier. When he said that, my stomach basically dropped. I grabbed Ryan's arm and whispered, run. We both
Yeah.
turned and sprinted down the path toward the resort.
No, I'm gonna wait
I could hear
until
him
the
behind
end.
us for a second. His footsteps were pounding hard as he started to chase.
Yeah.
I didn't dare look back. My heart was beating so hard it hurt. The path seemed longer than before. When we reached the edge of the woods,
I bet
we
it
could finally
would.
see the lights from the resort again. I yelled for help as we ran out of the trees and back toward the crowd near the bonfire. A few adults
Wait,
turned
where
toward
were
us,
your
startled.
parents?
We didn't stop until we got right up to the people.
Wait, one. Where were your parents? Like, if there's an overnight event that had parents in it, then why weren't your parents there? You guys would have to have the same room. So how come they didn't notice you just left the cabin? You think that would be noticeable?
I turned around, expecting to see the man behind us.
Yeah.
He wasn't there.
He didn't want
The
to be
path was
caught.
empty. My parents came over right away, asking what happened. I told
Your
them
shadow
everything
moved on
about the
kidnapped.
man watching me on the hayride, seeing him near the trees, and then following us into the woods. Ryan confirmed it all.
Yeah.
My dad and another man grabbed flashlights and went to check the path.
Oh, thank God
but
they
didn't
believe
find
you.
anyone. A few workers searched too, but he was gone.
Yeah.
The resort staff called the local police to report what happened. They arrived about 30 minutes later and took statements from me, Ryan, and our parents.
What are your parents
They
done
said
to
they
you?
checked the area, notified nearby cabins to keep an eye out.
Okay.
That night, my parents didn't let me out of their sight. We stayed in the cabin with the door
I
locked.
bet they didn't.
I couldn't fall asleep for hours. Every noise outside made me jump.
Yeah.
The next morning, the police came back and told us they searched the property but didn't find
Yeah,
anyone matching
no,
the
they
description.
weren't going to.
No vehicles had been reported missing.
What about a
No one
recent
fitting that
cop?
man's description had checked in. They thought maybe it was a trespasser from outside the resort. We left later that day. I remember staring out the car window as we drove past the woods, half expecting to see him standing there
He
again.
wasn't?
For weeks after that, I kept thinking I saw him on the side of the road.
Oh, that
outside
must be
stores, even
horrifying.
once at my school parking lot, but it was always someone else.
Yeah.
Or at least I hope it was.
Yeah, you
Ryan
never
and I
really
kept
know.
in touch for a while. He told me he couldn't sleep for days after it happened.
Ooh.
Nothing ever came of this.
I
The
can't
police never
imagine.
called again. The man was never identified or caught.
Oh.
Now I'm older, and when I think about that night,
Yeah.
what scares me isn't what he did, it's what he could have done.
Yeah.
If we had believed him for even a second, if we had walked toward him instead of running, I don't think I'd be here to tell this story.
Yeah.
And every Halloween since then, whenever I see someone standing alone at the edge of a crowd, I always think of that man. Sometimes people who look like they're part of the fun are watching for a different reason.
Wow. Yeah, no, you're right. That is awful. It's funny how, like... It's funny how parents tell kids, oh, don't take candy from strangers. But for one day a year, we collectively decide, no, let's all give each other candy, even if we don't know each other. Isn't that fun, right? That's funny. And like, don't trust people who wear masks, but then for one night a year, we decide, no, it's okay to wear costumes and have fake weapons. It's funny, right? Like, ironic. It's a twist.
My name is Roger. And
Roger.
this happened to me on Halloween night 3 years ago.
Halloween.
I'm 29 and
Okay.
work a boring office job, but it's good pay.
You were
When this happened,
26?
I was getting stuck with the stuff. Beginner's time off, the shifts nobody wanted, etc.
Yeah.
So when Halloween, my favorite holiday, rolled around, I
You.
was actually quite excited.
Okay.
It was never easy being the new guy at work, so I was wanting to enjoy a night of seeing kids be kids and chilling out at home watching movies.
Did you dare to do
At
it?
the time, I was living alone in a small house on the outskirts of town with my girlfriend,
Aw.
but she was out of town with
Oh.
her parents. It wasn't isolated exactly. I had neighbors, but the
Okay.
street got really quiet once the trick-or-treating hours ended.
Yeah.
The families in the area usually shut their lights off around 9 p.m.
Yeah,
Since I
that's
didn't
my
have
bedtime.
kids, I just handed out candy until the crowd died down. On several past Halloweens, before I got my own place, I was quite used to the occasional ding-dong ditch prank.
Ding dong
That's why
ditch.
there is a trick and treat here and there. That year, Halloween fell on a Saturday, and I remember it was chilly but clear out.
Yeah.
By 10:30, I was lounging on my couch, half watching a horror movie while
Halloween.
digging through a bowl of leftover candy. I hadn't seen anyone in about an hour, so when I heard a faint knock
What
at
a
my
nice
side door,
house.
I assumed it was stragglers. But when I opened the door, no one was there.
Why would you open
Just
it?
the empty
You not have a
driveway
peephole?
and the faint rustling of leaves. I brushed it off. Kids play pranks all the time on Halloween.
Yeah.
I headed back to my living room to finish watching The Conjuring 2. 15 minutes later, I heard the same sound again, only this time it was coming from the back door, the one that led to the small deck. That set
Oh,
off
no.
alarms in my head because
Yeah.
nobody used that entrance. I froze in the living room, listening.
In the door,
The
y'all.
TV was off now, and I could hear it clearly. The metal rattle of the back doorknob being tested,
Oh, no.
slowly and cautiously. Whoever was trying my door was
What,
either
did it
checking
want
if
to
it was
be
locked cautiously or believed it was unlocked and trying to be quiet. I crept into the kitchen, staying low, and that's when I saw him through the
Oh,
window.
no.
A man was crouched down near the door, wearing dark clothes and a cheap, cracked Halloween mask pushed up on top of his head. In his hand, he held a crowbar.
Oh, no.
He wasn't trying to hide. He was deliberate and calm, like he knew I was inside and didn't care.
God damn.
I backed away quietly and grabbed my phone,
Yeah.
whispering to 911 what was happening. The operator told me to stay on the line, lock myself somewhere
Yeah.
safe, and not to engage.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make noise by slamming the doors upstairs, so I
Be
stayed crouched
very-
at the top of the steps,
very
clutching a kitchen
quiet.
knife, whispering updates.
Good.
I peeked down and saw the man move away from the back door.
What?
That's when I heard the faint pop of a window screen
Oh,
being pried
no, he
off.
got in.
He was at the basement window now. I whispered to the dispatcher, he's at the basement. My voice was
Yeah.
shaking. She told
Yeah, you're actually you're doing very, very good, actually. You told the police immediately you have a weapon and you're gonna hide while he is doing a break-in. This is actually really good. They're really good. Because usually, in these situations, the kids or the adult, they only call after the person leaves. By doing it at the beginning, you heighten the chance that he could actually get caught. So, if you do this right, you could get him. You could get him.
the officers were already on their way.
Yes.
Then came the worst moment.
He
I heard
found
glass
you.
crack. He was breaking the window.
Yeah.
My blood ran cold.
Yes.
And it wasn't just a smash and grab. He knew I was there, and most burglars typically don't try to enter a home where they know someone's still inside.
Oh, he wanted to kill
Minutes
you.
felt like hours. The dispatcher kept me talking quietly to make sure I was still okay.
Yeah.
I heard footsteps crunching outside. The man was circling the house again.
Why?
Then headlights swept across the blinds.
What?
Relief flooded me as flashing red and blue
Oh, there you
lights
go.
pulled
Yeah,
up
he
in
did
front.
the taunt.
The man bolted. I watched him sprint across my yard,
No,
but he
no.
didn't get far.
Yes.
The officers tackled him
Yes!
just past my driveway.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I was shaking until I saw one of the cops leading him back in cuffs.
Yeah?
That's when I saw what he'd been carrying.
What? A gun?
Crowbar, duct tape, and zip ties stuffed in his bag.
Oh, he wanted
This wasn't
to
a burglar
kidnap
looking
you.
for valuables. This guy had a plan, and it was something far worse. The police told me he had a long record of breaking into homes, that he
And?
was suspected in some other cases where people had gone missing.
Oh, he
To this
kidnapped her.
day, I hate being home alone on Halloween.
Yeah,
It's
I
supposed
bet.
to be about scares and fun, but whenever I hear footsteps or knocking outside at night, I can't help but remember everything about this night. The part that chills me the most As if the police had been just 5 minutes later,
Yeah.
I might not be here to tell the story.
But you did it.
The police later followed up weeks later.
Huh?
They told me what they found in his backpack.
Done.
He had a Colt 45 handgun, several kitchen knives,
Oh.
and rope.
Oh, that's so much shit. But you did it. You told 911 as soon as you saw something bad happening, and they made it. Date Hollywood tops. Thank God. And if one of these stories had the tops actually do something, that's great. Okay, these were good. I enjoyed all of these. I think my favorite was probably the last one, because the guy actually got taught, and the main character was like by far the smartest, and he was the person who like did the least like bad stuff. I don't mean like bad as in morally bad. I mean like poor choices. The last story is good because like it's what we all hope to do. But that is all I have to say about this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!